Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Sup Talk Radio. I'm excited today, blessed by social media expert, 170,000 followers, as well as Apollon nutrition athlete. Allow me to introduce Luke Ellsman. Luke, pleasure to have you.
It's a pleasure to be here. It's 172.3 thousand, but just didn't want to, you know, just throwing that out there. But hey, I'm,
Okay.
I'm I'm happy to be a part of the podcast.
Well, I know you're a busy guy, and but again, I
Oh,
appreciate your time today.
right.
So, Luke, all my listeners always like to know. Give us a background growing up as a teenager. Were you an athlete? Were you kind of an average Joe? Like, what were you like growing up?
Growing up, man, wasn't much of an athlete going through, growing up. I played soccer. I think I did karate at a super young age. Uh, what else did I do? I played a little bit of baseball, but really wasn't that great at that because I really couldn't see. It was before I started wearing glasses. So I kind of
Right.
just whiffed. But eventually, as I got into my preteen years, I started doing MMA for a few years. And then all through high school, the only sport I played was I think I joined a swim team for shits and gigs. But then I hurt my ankle. Then it was pretty much just the gym after junior year.
So, were
So
you a
not,
were
not
you a
much of an
lean guy?
athletic background.
Were you a lean guy growing up?
You know, I was a little bit chubby in the stomach area, to be honest with you. When I was a little bit chunkier. I wasn't super skinny. Like I didn't grow up with abs or anything like that. My younger brother did, and I kind of always envied that. But I beat him up for it, because he'd show it off. But when we were really young, and then eventually I got to the age where I was like 14, 15, and I was like, I want abs so bad. So I started getting like those 6-minute ab workouts and stuff like that. Cause I was just like, I was done. I was tired of him having a six pack. My little brother was having a six pack. And then there was me. So that was like before I started getting into lifting, but that was when I knew I wanted to have some muscle.
So, was your brother just naturally gifted with abs, or did he work for his?
No, he didn't work for his. He was naturally gifted with some abs.
So, a little bit of animosity there.
A little bit in the beginning. I kind of hated him a little bit for it, but it's just a brother on brother kind of thing.
And then at what point did you join the gym?
I joined a gym. My first gym I ever joined was, I think, Retro Fitness. And that was around 16, 17 years old. I think 17 when I started driving.
That's a pretty boy gym, isn't it?
A pretty boy gym. I mean, I don't know. I think it varies from retro to retro, but the one I went to was pretty. I would say maybe at the time being there was a lot of gym bros at that time trying to polish up.
So, did you know what you were doing, like starting off, or where did you get like? Did you just jump in blind like everybody else?
No, so listen, I grew up with a father that had a dungeon gym essentially. So
Okay.
before I ever moved, I moved, but before I moved, and I grew up in New Jersey when I was just a little baby, little kid. Um, my dad would lift in the basement, and we had like a pretty decently sized basement, but there was one room where we do the laundry, but also he reconstructed that into his own gym. So he had a leg press, calf raise, all old school plates, bench press, leg press, all crammed into like a decent sized room, but nothing like full size caliber. But it was cool. So when I was a kid, I used to knock on the door and I would want to lift with him, and he'd bring me in. I'd watch him lift when I was way when I was too young, and then eventually he'd let me like bench the bar, little stuff like that. And we'd even have a chalkboard where he'd write down like the stuff, like the stats, like how many times I could bench 45 pounds and stuff. Not a lot of people know that, but that's the background. And then eventually, through like probably when I was like 14 to 16, before I got like an actual gym membership, I got we up he upgraded the house that we were staying at. So we got an addition, and we also closed in the garage. So we moved the stuff when I became old enough to start like lifting more serious from the basement to the garage, and then eventually we turned that whole thing into just a gym. So the garage, like upstairs to the garage, and then and then there was a garage door. Then it just became a room, and that was the lifting room. So
Were you
that's what
naturally
happened.
strong?
I was always pretty strong. Yeah. for my body weight and relative to my body weight, yeah, I was always kind of a little bit strong.
Okay, and so then were you learning from dad, or were you on the internet kind of looking at workouts? I mean, were you even caring about how you were eating at that point or no?
Eating, not so much. I was kind of obsessed at that time with like protein and mass gainers and maybe a little bit of creatine, but my dad didn't let me take creatine for a while. I didn't even know what it was. I just remember he took creatine. I never took creatine. I was like, what is that magical powder? Um, but I wasn't concerned with my diet. And what'd you say? The first
Oh, I said,
question?
so how did you go about your workouts? Were you just on the internet or
Oh,
just following
yeah.
other people? Did you have did your phone in your corner, like dad
My
chirping in
dad
your ear
helped
or
me a
what?
lot. My dad helped me a lot with the essentials, the basics, the warming
Okay.
up, the bench press especially. Uh, we had a leg press, so he taught me how to use that. We had a mini cable machine. It wasn't like a full fledged cable crossover, but it was like a mini one with a seat and like old school. So he
Yeah,
taught me all the essentials, and then after that, I kind of just went on my own YouTube
gotcha.
everything.
And then when did you start getting into the social media aspect?
Started getting into the social media aspect at probably after I moved to South Carolina. But I was always into it. So like I was probably into it when I was like 16. Like when I started getting into it, like junior year in high school when I was like 16 and a half, 16 years old. And then by the time I moved to South Carolina for a little while, that's when I started picking up that's when I brought my first vlog camera, which was a G7X, Canon G7X. Then I started filming myself. So I was probably like 18, 19 years old.
Okay.
I spent a lot of time watching these YouTubers, so I was like, let me become one of these YouTubers, or at least that was the hopes.
So you were hoping to be mega stars, making mega money, the next PewDiePie or whoever it may be?
Yeah, that would be a dream, of course, but I was just doing workout stuff. I wouldn't really do any YouTube type stuff. You know what I mean? Like I
Yep.
wouldn't do like it was always fitness related.
Okay.
That's what I wanted to do.
So when did you actually start coming up with the actual videos? Like actually transitioning from workout videos to more of obviously your content now.
So like my TikTok comedy and stuff like that, gym bro, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, that was like pretty recent, honestly. And the gym bro, like let me just break it to you. I'm kind of acting like one right now, but it's totally an act. Like I'm a
Yeah.
normal dude. For anyone that's watching, for all the audiences, like this headphone thing, I put this on purpose. Like I don't actually walk around with this, but I do give off the impression that I sleep with them, which is just not true whatsoever. But I keep them on; they're comfortable. But I started getting the gym bro stuff, the skits, like within the last year. I think I started like transitioning over to comedy when I started TikTok. But when I started doing the skits, that was within the last like 6 months to a year, honestly. Um, that's when I realized a lot of the stuff on Instagram and YouTube were saturated already. A lot of people doing a lot of the same stuff in just different ways.
Yep.
So comedy has always been something that I've always loved, and the fact that I can kind of merge the two, it just works so perfectly for me. So I was
So
like,
for pe
I could post I could post a workout, a workout on Instagram. I'm like, there's millions of those, I could do this and that. But when you do comedy, it's like your own specific comedy, It's like it really brings out like a lot of yourself because you do what you think is funny. You know what I mean?
So for people that are just joining the show now, listening to this also via audio, Lucas is like Batman, and I don't even say Batman. I guess the headphones go on and it's arrogant Luke, but when the headphones are off, it's down to earth. And as Robic says, one of the nicest guys you will ever meet. So I had a lot of questions. People asking me, "Do you think Luke really is a prick?" Just to be flat out honest.
No, that's
And I
honestly
said,
that's fair.
so I said, well, I know the answer, but obviously we tried to start to show off with just a little bit of fun here between us both. But so Luke's got the earphones off, so now we're talking to the real Luke now.
Yeah, that's me right here. So I wasn't really acting like a total gym bro on the previous questions. I was like trying to like do the voice, but this is more of my real voice. That's it. And that kind of morph it a little bit when I'm like, I don't even know what I do, honestly. I might just stretch out words a little bit longer and make a face and change my voice slightly, but
So how do you come up with your content? Do you just kind of like look around the atmosphere and say, "Oh, this looks good. I'm gonna do it right now." How do you come up with this shit?
Kinda. Kinda, believe it or not, kind of. So, new ideas just kind of spring into my head at, like, very random moments. I
Yeah.
could be laying it down in bed before I go to sleep, and I'm just like, "Shit, I got a good idea." And those are usually the best ones, but sometimes it really is last minute relatable
Yep.
gym stuff that I just like, okay, find something relatable that, like, everyone's gonna watch and be like, "Oh, this shit happens to me all the time," and then mix a little bit of humor into it, dramatize it a little bit, act dramatic, be a little bit annoying, maybe a little bit cringe, but you got to
Yep.
do it. You got to add like that little, that pizzazz. You got to mix it up. You got to get the people laughing a little bit because yeah, you could do half the stuff I do, and then it's like, well, yeah, it's relatable and probably get some views, but you just want to make it a little annoying. You want to annoy people a little bit.
Does anybody ever say no? Because obviously you mess around with a lot of the muscle heads, and
Yeah.
and I'm sure a lot of them are friends or acquaintances and stuff. Does anybody actually look at you and say, "No, dude, that's terrible. I'm not gonna do that"?
Like, give me an example. Like the muscle heads is like in my skits when I ask
Yeah, in
for
your skits, like obviously you got the one where you go up in a posing room and you're kind of pushing the guy out of the way. You're doing your poses, and the guy's laughing at you because he's obviously probably got you by 40 pounds. And then obviously you're doing laterals, and the guy
yeah,
comes and picks you up, moves out of the way. I mean, are these guys
yeah.
generally pretty receptive to jumping on a video with you?
Right, yeah, that's Danny, Danny Swool, actually. Yeah, he's super cool dude. Yeah, I always make sure like none of my skits are like, I guess, public experiments. Is that what you call it? Like I don't actually go for a genuine reaction. I
Yeah,
tell them prior to the video that this is gonna be a skit, and like if you're into it, like don't feel pressure. If you don't want to do it, you think it's dumb, like completely, like that's fine. Like I get it,
yeah,
but I tell them, like, I give them a rundown. For the most part, it's just improvising. Like I just improvise half the stuff I do. So I have the idea in my head, and then I just go up to then to start the camera. I'm like, all right, so let me just BS this whole thing,
yeah.
because that for me is just like it just when something looks less scripted, it becomes more funny because you
Yep.
you come off genuine rather than kind of like you could tell when someone's thinking about what to say or what they're supposed to say when they start rolling their eyes around or like hesitating, stuttering, stuff like that. I try to like for me, the best to do that is just like completely improvise it, because otherwise I'll be doing that exact same thing and it becomes a lot more funny to me. I think it.
Yeah, yeah, like what like one I forget exactly what the setup was, but you're doing something and you kind of sideswipe by Brian and Kennedy.
Oh, it's
You were
not.
either posing or something at Apollon, and then
Yeah,
both the guys like jumped in front of you, started posing, which I thought was hilarious. 'Cause
yeah,
I had
yeah.
Kennedy on a couple of weeks ago. Kennedy's such a good guy.
Oh, dude, the nicest guy ever. Yeah, I remember doing that video. I do so many videos sometimes, like you say it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I did that. Um, yeah, just another like dumb little skit idea. I'm like, you guys are fucking huge. Let's humble this gym bro. It's like I'm playing my character, and I know my character is like cocky, arrogant. He's an asshole. Like he's not supposed to be like loved.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, He's just supposed to be like that stereotypical like gym bro that comes in, doesn't really take workout too serious, probably skips leg day, talks a lot, or is just super cocky, thinks he's the biggest guy in the gym. So I just play that character. Sometimes it varies though. Sometimes gym bro is a little bit different than the last one.
Are you surprised at how much it's taken off, Luke? Be
Am I
completely honest. I
surprised?
mean, Luke himself, completely honest. No, bro. Just, I mean, are you surprised? Or are you humbled or what?
Oh yeah, like always humble. Like I don't know. I feel like I've been doing this social media stuff for such a long time where it's like I see the numbers going up, but it's like to me, it's just it doesn't really give me much of a reaction. I just have bigger goal. I just have more goals, but it doesn't really change much. It doesn't. I don't really get much of a reaction. I'm just like, oh, yeah, that's awesome. Like, let's keep going. It's motivating, but
Yeah.
other than that, like, pretty, pretty normal reaction, honestly. Like, I don't really have, like, you know what I mean? I don't know how to explain that.
Is it an addiction though? Like you feel you have to put out content X amount per week or whatever? Are you at that point where I got to get something out?
Yeah, that's because I want to. I want to
Yeah.
continue to get better. It's the same thing like as in the gym. Like I want to continue to get stronger. I want to continue to try to grow and get bigger. So it's like with that, it's the same thing with TikTok, Instagram. It's like, okay, let's keep bumping these numbers up. And it's like the snowball. It's like it's finally getting the ball rolling. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I've been through a lot of phases where things aren't growing that fast. You're at a very like stagnant pace, and like
Yep.
you kind of like lag with it, and you're like, all right. And then I saw like these TikTok humor videos, these TikTok skits starting to, speed up a little bit. I'm like, all right. And like you start getting a little bit fired up. So you start trying to like, now you're really pushing. And then within the last like month, things have started to take off a little bit quicker. So it's just motivating. It's really good to get that like that spring of like just videos doing how you'd like them to do, like
Yeah.
performing well.
How long? I don't know if you were tracking how long when you started doing. We'll use TikTok because obviously you got a bigger following there. How long when you started doing TikTok did you realize that it actually like took off? Because obviously it's slow, but then sometimes once you hit that stride, it's like straight up.
It's you could it could stop at any moment. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? With TikTok, Instagram, like you could think that like, oh, all right, I'm going up, nothing's stopping me. But like I know because I've been through so many different phases where it's like at any moment I can get stuck at 180,000 followers, you know, like a
Yeah.
bench, like a bench plateau. You can get stuck at that weight for a year. Not that
Yep.
I think that it would be that dramatic, but you can get, it's just like anything else. So you just have to keep pushing, like push it strong, trying to come
Yep.
up with better ideas, trying to act better, like on camera, trying to increase the cinematic value. You know what I mean? Like the lighting, the audio, just to make sure like the videos come out as crisp and clean as possible. So, you know,
Did you ever get mental block? Not mental block, but with creative juices, are they still going well, or do you kind of get that mental block once in a while?
get that mental block often.
Yeah.
Often. Not like every week often, but like every month and a half, month or so, like there'll be a week where I'm just like, oh man, and then you kind of start looking at your videos that done so well, and you just don't want to put out a crappy video. You don't
Yeah.
want,
Yeah.
and sometimes the consistency is better than nothing, but it's like I also don't want to start pumping out like just crap content. So it
Yeah.
starts to get to your head a little bit. You start to like your standards become higher, obviously, as you continue to grow. And you see like the video you put out, I'm like, damn, that was such a good video. Everything was good from the transitions to the lighting, the audio, everything sounded good. The jokes are acting. It's like, how do I top that? And sometimes
Yeah.
you don't even need to. It could be a dumb video that just fucking blows up, and you're just like, you're happy about it, but at the same time, you're like, that's kind of annoying, you know? It's like I put all this work in for this video that did very well, but then you put in like half the work, half the energy, half the editing, and it does twice as well. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
it's just the internet.
So look, we got some questions on like training and whatnot. So I'm gonna bring some in here and we'll talk about some of it here. So can you talk about your pec injury?
My pec injury, it's going
Was
on 3 years since the surgery.
was it on a bench? Was it on a flat bench?
Hmm. Sorry.
It's okay.
So I was on a flat bench at my house in South Carolina. Um, it was so I've always had like a pretty not I wouldn't say strict split, but I always stuck to my split, my workout split. So in this particular case, it was an arm day, and I decided, okay, let me just warm up on bench, get a quick chest pump. I don't really know what I was thinking. I never ever do that.
Yep.
And it was like sometime it was in I think late October, right before November. And I was benching. I warmed up to 275 pounds. And at that time, I was able to rep that between like 8 to 12 reps, 12 being like really high, 8 being like, lower for that day. And I was a very aggressive bencher, but obviously back then, if you could watch it, because I used to like kind of bounce the reps a little bit because to me that weight was semi light. So
Yeah.
that partially has to do with possibly the reason my pec decided to tear. I don't know. There's a lot of different variables that could have came into play, but yeah, 275 pounds, one rep goes up. I probably didn't even lock it out because I was ready for that second rep. I just wanted to get it pumped. Like I said, like second rep, I remember just looking over at my right delt, and it
Yeah.
kind of like caved in, and I looked
Okay.
at it all funky, and I was like, oh, this isn't right. Like this does not look good. It didn't
Yeah.
hurt, nothing happened, but I felt it, and I'm like, oh shit, looked all disformed. So I immediately, out of like instinct, I start to like probably start like screaming a little bit, like like I use my left arm, just completely shoot it to the side of the
Yep.
bench. I got it off me like with no problem, other than the fact that the one of the plates like rolled over my right ankle, which caused
Jeez.
that to swell a little bit, but it was fine at the time. I didn't even feel that. got out underneath the bar, and if you watch the video, you can see me standing, and it starts like kind of like pulsating, twitching.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is not fucking good. No one's home at this point. It was a little bit chilly too, so it didn't feel good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was kind of hoping like whatever it was, it would pop back into place. Like that was my mindset in that particular moment. But every time I started stretching out my arm, it would grab it and like pull me.
Okay.
So that's what I had to do. So try to like make this a little bit shorter than it is. Long story short, yeah, I ended up tearing my pec tendon. I went to the ER that night. They just gave me a cast, slept through that, had to get an MRI, which was like a week or two later. Did that. Then I can go to my orthopedic so they could check that out. And then after they got to see the MRI, they're like, pec tendon tear, not a good one. So literally after I got that news, that next day I got surgery. And my heart sank. Holy shit. Like I had no time to like but when they said like you can get surgery tomorrow, I'm like, let's do it. Like I want to get this recovery process on the go. You know what I mean? Like, I want to get this going already. I know this sucks. This is like, I didn't expect that because at the time I was starting to train a little bit with a torn pec, like because I was waiting for so long for these results and to get the schedule.
Yep.
I was just hoping that it was like some tear that could recover on its own. Like I didn't know. This was all new to me. And then, had to get surgery. And it was like 6 months to a year before I can even start like dumbbell pressing anything. And
so did it like tear in the middle, or did it come off your like shoulder, or like I don't know if you remember, like not getting all anatomy wise, but
so the pec tendon connects like near your bicep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can even see the scar.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know if that's showing up on screen very well.
Yeah, it does.
So you could literally see where it literally tore, and that's why when I was describing when it happened, I remember my right delt looking all funky.
Yeah. Okay.
This muscle like completely was gone.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, you could probably find pictures of that somewhere. I used to post YouTube videos. It didn't look like some of the crazy pec tears where like you could see in the video the muscles like spreading towards the pec.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like some worse or like some bad ones where it like really comes into like the center.
Yep, it's all just black and blue, like a cross.
Yes. So mine bled through my arm.
Okay.
But it wasn't really black and blue on my chest itself.
Got it.
Yeah.
So how's your training? How's your training changed since that? It's another question that came in. I mean, do you still flat bench, or do you no longer flat bench?
I no longer flat bench. I just started doing a little bit of incline bench press after my dumbbells, but I flat dumbbell press, and I can go as heavy as I want, aggressive as I want for the most part. I don't aggressive in the sense of like going hard, not lifting dumb,
Yeah.
But I don't flat bench anymore, and I definitely could if I wanted to. I truly believe that everything would be fine, but I just have no desire. I think that it would just get in the way of I think my mental might get in the way of it a little bit, and it's like if I had some dying desire to do it, I would do it, but I don't.
Yeah.
So I kind of just stay a little bit away from it.
Was it tough? Because I've had rotator cuff injuries, which obviously come into the chest, and for me it was always 6 months later you get under there, and you want to attempt it, but you're timid. But it's also the testosterone going through. Like screw it, I'm just going through it, and it's like, was it tough trying to find that balance of not benching anymore, but still with dumbbells. It's like crap. I got to work with 10 pounds. I can go to 20, but you know what I mean. Does that make sense?
When I was getting back into it,
yeah.
So like, how did I keep myself from like going too aggressive?
Yeah, I mean, because you want to push, but also like for me, I was afraid I was going to re-tear something.
Yeah. So imagine it kind of like it felt like a rubber band.
Yep.
This felt like that was the best way to describe it. It was like a rubber band. So my mobility off the bat wasn't even like there. Like I couldn't lift my arm over my head. I couldn't do any of this. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't do that. And my mobility was really bad. And so it was a constant reminder to like, dude, chill out. Don't do anything stupid. Like the last thing you want, you know what it took for you to just be able to get on your knees and do some half-ass push-up, which took like months.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, meanwhile, a couple months prior, I could do 100. Now I'm on my knees doing maybe 10. You know, and it didn't feel good. So that to me was like, stay humble, just keep going. Like you have no one, there's no rush. You have all this time in the world. just get past, you know, just get your mobility back, build up your
Yep.
strength, listen to your body, and that's all I could do. Because I was like, what would be the point if I get in 6 months in and oh cool, I can get some of my strength back, but for what? For me to re-injure it, re-tear it, strain it, whatever, stress it out. Like, so it was just not worth it to me because I know how awful it was the first time around. So
Yeah, yeah. So what is your current, people asking, so what are your current training program? What is your current training program like?
Sure. Current training program is very it's my own split. I just make it up in my head. I've never actually followed in an actual training program like somebody else has written. Same thing with um any like nothing. Yeah, nothing like diet related, lifting related. I've always done everything my own. So my current split is I do legs twice a week, chest twice a week, back once, arms once.
Okay. You like an
So
8 to 12 rep type of guy, or what? Like, what do you generally go for your ranges?
I okay, so I'm a low volume guy. I'm a little bit of both. So I love building up my strength. So it depends on the workout. Kind of like it always varies a little bit, but I'm
Yeah.
definitely not a 10 to 12 rep kind of guy. I definitely work on my compounds, my heavy compounds, keep it low volume to make sure I'm like working on my strength. And
Okay.
then a lot of the other stuff is like hypertrophy, um, and accessories. So like if, for example, if it was back day, then it might not be 10 to 12 if I'm doing like bent over barbell rows. It might be a little bit lower for that explosive strength. And then for chest days, I like to work up to a heavy, some sort of heavy sets. So it could be 150s on dumbbells, and I'm
Okay.
trying to see like essentially PR with them, see what I can get. So my current PR is like 5, 6 reps. I want to see what I can do with them. And then I'll work with like 3 sets of 6 to 8 with
Okay.
140s, to keep that strength. And then I'll progressively go down the pyramid, get that volume in, get the pump going, and then go over to accessories and hypertrophy. But I always try to prioritize like the low volume strength, explosive strength. And it always just worked for me. It's never really been something uh I've learned from anyone else other than my dad, actually. That's how my
Yeah.
dad always kind of trained.
Talking chest, have you tried the new standing chest press? And what do you think of it? Obviously, on and off the record here, people listening, but between you and I, I've never tried it. It looks awesome, but
I have eyed it up 3 different occasions, and I have yet to try it. It was funny. I was just asking somebody at the gym on Friday, and they said they were loving it. So I haven't personally tried it yet, no,
okay.
but it looks freaking cool.
Because I don't know if it'll give. I know it's supposed to mimic obviously a flat bench, but I don't know if it would stress like me. Because again, I can't bench press because of shoulders, so I don't know if it really like mimics a true flat bench versus like dumbbells. So I'm gonna be up there in a couple of
Right.
weeks. So I'll be looking forward to trying it.
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Well, it's like mimics a flat bench, but you don't got your leg drive. That's what someone
Yeah, it's
mentioned. I
true.
was like, oh, I didn't really think of that. I was like, that's true though, because you're not going to be able to push off the ground the same way. You're
Yeah,
standing, but it's not going to work in the same way as if you were laying flat on your back. So that's interesting. And then obviously you can
yeah, different levels of it.
levels of it. So that was interesting. That's interesting as well. I have to try it out. I really do. I'm going to give you a better
Yeah, yeah.
feedback
So
on that.
one of our very close friends is watching. Our good friend Eric Schwartz. Luke, I am your father.
I've been getting that since I was in kindergarten.
Oh my god. So
So,
let's
Eric,
see here. So what's it actually like working with Robic? We saw your video, and he's got a lot of great things about you. But we can talk good, bad, and different about Robic. Whether you want to go bro mode or not.
Robbie, Robert, it's all the same thing. Working with Rob is like working with your grandpa, No, I'm just kidding. No,
Wow.
I hope he's watching. He's probably laughing right now. No, Rob is like working with a best friend, honestly. Like, he's a really good guy. You can tell who he genuinely cares for when he works with me. Like, he really wants to see you succeed. He really wants to see you do good. He really wants whatever project we're working on together for like everything to be. He wants everyone to be happy. He doesn't want to put anyone in like bad situations. He doesn't want
Yep.
to make anyone uncomfortable. He wants everything to be, he wants everyone to be themselves too, which is great. He's like, if we ever promote a product and he's like, all right, he's like, you mind doing a short video on chainsaw? I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. He's like, do your thing, whatever
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
you know what I mean. And that's for everyone. He just wants everyone to be themselves. He doesn't want anyone to like be scripted or feel like they have to do something a certain way, act a certain way. And that's why I love working with Rob off the bat. Like he's never been like, here, like if I'm gonna give you a hooligan and you got to do that. Like he never
Yeah.
forced you to be a certain way, and he just made things working with him like super comfortable, and it was great. I don't have a single bad thing to say like about working with Rob, to be honest with you. And it sounds like, oh, that's what he's supposed to say, but it's like, no, like that's genuinely what I mean. Like if I had something bad to say, I would say it, Rob. Like I would say it, but
No,
I have
it's
nothing. I have nothing. He's
it's
a
funny
great.
because when I first met him, it was I think he gives that aura, and I'm not talking behind his back because I've said this to him straight to him. He gives that aura of you don't know how to read him, and then and he says to me, "Sean, if I start verbally abusing you, you're my friend. You're in the circle because you call him old, but he calls me old. I'm 2 years older than him, but he calls me like grandpa all the
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
time.
Oh, that's funny.
So
Um, no, he's fun. He has a great sense of humor too. Like he's fun, like to mess around with. He makes, yeah. It's well, what were you saying before? Like,
oh no, I guess so. So I'll go since you talked about Robic. Is there anything you can share? I know it's dropping next week, but is there anything you can share about your pre-workout?
I could say that like for one, it tastes absolutely amazing. Everyone's gonna love it. It's so light. Like I can't wait for like whoever's interested and actually wants to get it. Like I can't wait for like DMs or something like from like positive feedback. Cause I really do believe that like people are going to love the flavor. And obviously
Yep,
it's not about the flavor, but we did make it a
a
little bit
bonus.
about the flavor because we wanted this to taste really good for everyone. We wanted to be something like you could sip on the way to the gym and be like, this is freaking good. You know, like this is like, I'm enjoying myself, not like I'm ripping shots, you know, like
Yeah.
you don't want that burn. It gives you nothing. It's almost like you feel like you're not drinking the right thing. It feels like you might be drinking something with a little bit of like, uh, what do you call that? Like there's lemonade sweeteners that you put in your drink, like
Oh
super
yeah,
light,
like the Crystal Light type of
the
stuff. Yeah,
crystal
yeah.
lights, the crystal lights. Yeah, it's like that, but you put like half a pack in, and it's just a little bit of minor flavor. It's like that. It's like so good. It just works with you. I can
Is
show you the tub. I
because
can't
again,
show you the flavor.
I don't want you to get in trouble. Like Robic
No,
start
no,
DMing
no,
you here in the
no.
middle here, be like, dude, what are you doing?
No, no, I can show you the tub. I can't reveal the actual ingredients or nothing
Yeah.
like
Okay.
that. That's going to be released on its own date. I believe the 26th. It's the 25th tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay.
Tomorrow. So you guys don't even have to wait much longer.
All right. So
I
let's
hope
get
I can
this.
flash some screenshots. It. Nah.
I'll ask
Yeah,
you
the
this, and
label's pretty cool. I love its own unique label.
yep.
Honestly, it's got that. It's got the blue raspberry lemonade. So you can see
Awesome.
that where the yellow is. I'm sure it's not picking up, but like you can see the yellow for the
Yep.
lemonade. Hooligan, Young Blood, and then they got the extreme pre-workout formula with the Luke Ellsman edition. You guys will be able to check it out when you get it. But I love it, and it's funny because like I love the color orange, red, like the fire and everything. Just like actually like it's like perfect. It represents me like perfectly. I love it. So I was really
So
excited about how that came out.
I'm assuming Hooligan, it's going to be a higher stim product, and I'm not going to push you any more about anything.
It's got the stems. It's got the stems.
Okay.
So
Good.
no
So
one
I
actually
don't.
knows exactly what level it is. I mean, I did talk about it on the podcast I did with Rob. I posted on my YouTube video. Look at like within the last week.
Okay, I'll have to
Like
check
he
it out.
switched through it. It's a long talk, but towards the end we start to talk about young blood and a little bit more details are revealed there. But the label again won't be given to the people until tomorrow, which is not bad.
Did you come up with the name Youngblood, or was it Robic?
We were about like he sort of came out with the name. We had a couple changes, but we both mutually decided like young blood just it fit the time, it just worked perfectly. And it looked the best one on the label as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But we bounced back and forth with a few ideas. Like it was a mutual decision for sure. But like honestly, when he came to me with it, it wasn't much of a back and forth. It was like, I like that. Like that works for what we're doing with this product.
So somebody's asking, and if you just want to say yes or no, is there Yohimbine in it or Yohimbi?
I don't believe so.
Okay, and we won't ask any more because
Oh,
it
that's
will
all
not.
I'll say. That's all I'm
We'll
saying.
have
I'm
to
not
wait till
really giving
tomorrow,
anything
folks. It should
away,
be
but
live on the site live tomorrow. But Luke, so another question here too. When you're not creating content, what's the day job? What do you do during the day?
uh,
Or do you have a day job?
HVAC for 8 hours. Yeah, this
Really?
typical. Yeah, 7 to 3:30.
Wow. Okay.
3:30. So I get off early, luckily earlier than a lot of guys, and then I get back and then gym by 5.
So you take
HVAC full time.
so you taking a pre-workout to go to the gym? That I should that late. It's not that late in the afternoon, but I'm sure you got to be exhausted. No.
Oh yeah, I'm exhausted. Yes. So I'm always exhausted by the time I get home. I have like a pretty stapled routine. I have my protein. Right now it's Isoblast. I have the vanilla ice cream Isoblast. I do 2
Okay.
scoops of that with water in a solo cup, mix that up, throw that down, maybe eat a banana. I have like packs of like Rice Krispie treats, but like my favorite thing is like, all right, I get to go home. I could get my pre-workout going. Cause otherwise, to be honest, I'd pass out. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
if I didn't go to the gym within the first hour and I wasn't sipping on like some pre-workout to like keep me going, like I'd pass out and probably waste like a good 3-4 hours of my day, which I just
Yep.
don't really have time for. So I kind of have to like, I'm like super thankful for these supplements because not only are they kick ass for working out, but you keep me going for all my um for the rest of my day. So I have my full-time job and then I have to do all my gym stuff after. And the best thing about this, like, is like Hooligan, Youngblood, they get you focused. So like if I need to like bump out TikTok ideas or TikTok content, like it gets me in the mood, you know? So not only am I getting these crazy workouts in, I'm also just like focused for all the other stuff, all the other behind the scenes stuff.
So what do you go to products out of the line right now? Like
My go-to products on the line.
out of the yeah in the Apollon line, obviously outside of Youngblood starting tomorrow.
Yeah. So yeah. So I got my go-tos, I would say for sure, like always need is I don't want to put these before Hooligan, but I would say Hooligan first, right? So Hooligan is a go-to. Right now I've been drinking the mango sunrise,
Okay.
which is delicious. That's my go-to. And then I have both strawberry margarita and blue bomb chainsaws.
Okay.
That's my go-to. And then I take what else do I take? That's my 3. Oh yeah, then blood sport, which I haven't been taking because I've been drinking the young blood, which has been good. So I don't need too much blood sport.
Do you think this is going to be a one-shot deal, or do you think Robic will keep it? Is it a limited edition, or do you think Robic will keep doing it? Or should they keep it going? I guess depending on sales, maybe.
You know, I don't really know. It's hard to say. We really want to see how this one performs, and then we'll go from there. But I mean, it's a lot of exciting stuff to come. So you never really know with Apollon. You never really know, especially with
Yeah.
Robert. So he's always switching. He's always throwing things. He's always brainstorming, throwing things out there. So like, I wouldn't be surprised, but nothing's guaranteed yet.
Yeah. No, I know. I always laughed. I think he's just addicted now. It's not even like yourself. Like what are you going to come up with next? And just when
Yeah,
you think like
exactly.
there's nothing left, he just throws another curveball, and it's like another freaking hitter every other week or so.
Right. No, he really is. He's like the mad scientist. That's why I call him. He's like a
So look,
mad
we've got a couple odd ones out here. So let's see. Meal with anyone dead or alive, who would it be?
meal with anyone that like anybody. So
Yeah,
anyone
whether
that's ever
athlete, movie
existed.
star, whoever.
A meal. I suck at these questions, but I'll try to make it short. I'll probably try to come up with something quick.
If you love spontaneity, it's okay.
Have a sit down with something to eat. You said,
Yeah, well, just anyone, cup of coffee, meal, whatever. Someone dead or alive that you'd love to meet with.
dude, it'd be so sick to meet like.
You have a favorite athlete or movie star,
I have
actress?
so many favorites, but I would love to like. I would have like a sit down meal with like. It's so tough. I'm so like on like. That's such a tough question. I suck at these questions. Like The Rock would be cool, like someone like The Rock or like
Yep.
Mark Wahlberg. I love those guys as actors. Um, Maybe like Chris Hemsworth. I'm a big Marvel fan. That'd be sick.
Okay.
Um, like I'm trying to think of people in the past that like Mike Tyson would be sick to sit down with, have a meal. But yeah, I can't.
That's all right. You get some good ones.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like there's plenty. I can think of people all day, but I don't know if I can really decide on one right now.
I'd rather train with The Rock than have a meal with him because I don't know if if what he eats on Instagram, the 86 pancakes and the 5 pounds
Yeah,
of this, I don't know if I could do that. So I'd rather have a workout with him.
right. Nah, you're right. Maybe like, but Ronnie Coleman would be another guy just to sit down with, to have a good meal with. Like if you can go back into like when he was like meal prepping and stuff like that, and he was
Yeah.
huge. Not that I wouldn't do it to this day, but that'd be sick. But
All right,
since,
here's
since
another
you
one
give
that might throw you off. No phone or no gym for a month.
oh, no phone.
Okay. All
I don't
right.
think I could do it mentally. I think it would definitely I think the phone unfortunately would give me some sort of like withdrawals, which is sad to say, but like not as worse as like the gym. And let's just assume that like the gym means any physical activity.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's just do that because that'd
Yeah.
make it a little more difficult. But because if I could do something outside, then maybe I'd pick the phone because I don't know. Because I need content. Let's just go with that.
So you mentioned being a superhero guy, Batman or Superman.
Oh, Superman. I'm not a huge DC guy specifically, but definitely Superman over Batman. Not
All
that I
right.
hate nothing against Batman. I think Superman is just badass.
So what Marvel then would you be? If you're a Marvel guy, what Marvel character would you be?
I always loved the Hulk. Hulk and Thor. Hulk and then Thor right behind. Those are my two tops.
Okay.
Always
Would
love
you?
Hulk. Always growing up. Like always, that's always been it. And then like with, I don't want to get into it, but like yeah, that's to answer the question. Yeah,
Are you watching She-Hulk? Talking Hulk, do you watch She-Hulk at all?
yeah. I've been watching She-Hulk.
Are you between you and I, are you enjoying it?
I like it. I think it's funny. I think I want to see like what everyone else wants to see, more badass. Like they want to see more badass fights, more serious scenes, a lot of less comedy, a lot less goofiness.
Yep.
I get that. But I'm also very biased, I think, in my own head, where I'm just
Okay.
like, I enjoy this. And I do. I think it's funny when it's not fighting, and I think the fighting is cool. I wish the CGI was a little better on the She-Hulk, though. That kind of bothers me when I'm watching it, but
Yeah, people I enjoy too. People ask me, I said, look, it's a 30-minute binge. It's like just take it for face value and enjoy it.
yeah, no, I like it. I enjoy it, and it's not like it's getting released once a week. So I'm just watching, a quick 30-minute episode once a week, and I enjoy it. It's something to look forward to. And yeah, I've always loved Marvel. So, and I've been such a huge Hulk fan where it's like I cannot not watch She-Hulk because Bruce Banner's in it here and there,
Yeah.
and like a lot of his storyline moving forward is going to be in it. So like I gotta be on that.
So here's another one. Would you rather explore space or the ocean?
Explore space or the ocean? Space,
Okay.
space.
All
I
right.
think.
Here's a longer one. Would you rather go into the past and meet your ancestors or go into the future and meet, we'll just say great great grandchildren is what they wrote, but
That's a
it's a
tough
good
one.
one.
That is a tough one. Meet your great great grandchildren. Path to meet your ancestors. Probably future. Go to the future.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be
Get in your
cool.
time machine and go.
But yeah, I
Go
think
in your
that'd be
time
pretty
machine and
cool.
go.
Yeah, to be able to jump into the future, I think would be insane because you get to see what's not never existed yet versus like the
Yep.
past people already know about.
And you do the Back to the Future thing. You see who wins the World Series and the Super Bowl in 20 years and place your bets now.
Exactly. There you go. See, there's a lot of pros to jumping into the future. So I can mess around a little bit, maybe win a couple lotteries.
So, Luke, as we wind down, what's the next steps? What's the bigger picture for you, Luke? Do you want to continue to grow the channel? I mean, what's the next step for you? Continue to be the ambassador of Apollon? I mean, what's the big goal for you yourself?
You know, I want to continue to work with Apollon. Yes, like I don't really see myself parting ways with them. I see it only growing. I only see things getting bigger and better with Apollon and working with Rob, and I can't really see any reason why I would ever leave. You know what I mean? Like working with them is like family at this point.
Yep.
And so with that, I want to continue to grow and do bigger things with the company. At least that's where my head's right now, but that's where I truly
Yeah.
believe. And then goals just to keep growing the TikTok, keep building my name for myself, which is just my name itself. Like I play the Jim Bro character, but like I'm not hiding my real name. It's Luke Ellsman on TikTok, Luke Ellsman on Instagram, Luke Ellsman on YouTube. You know what I mean? That's who I am. That's the name I want to build. I want to continue to do what I'm doing right now and um, see where it takes me. Like, obviously, I have goals, but nothing super specific at the moment to really give you,
Yeah.
you know?
Do you want to compete? Do you ever want to compete?
That's a good question. Very common question, but I do not. I don't ever say never because I never say never because who knows? Like
Yeah.
a few years down the line, my whole mental might change. I'm like, this is something I really want to do. But like truthfully, right now, like I have no desire. I like to eat my food. Um,
Yep.
I don't like to have to do cardio. I do my cardio, but I don't want to have to do it. I
Yeah.
don't want to have to meal prep. I don't want to have to follow a certain lift, like a certain workout split, because
Protocol.
I do everything on my own and I love that freedom. I think it makes for me like lifting the most enjoyable. I do a lot for my mental health. I think it just really relieves like any stress, any anxiety. Like it makes me feel very good every time I'm in the gym. Um, no matter how bad I feel prior, like the gym has never not made me feel better after. Like it's
Yeah.
continued to always. So like that's what I do. That's why I lift. The getting muscle and building a physique is kind of like a plus, but it just makes me
Yep.
feel so damn good. So um, that's why I do it. I don't really want to change that up for competing.
Yeah.
But I did
No.
compete in powerlifting once for fun with my dad and my younger brother, Jake.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's on YouTube actually. You could probably find it. It was a little competition, but I did compete in powerlifting one time. It was pretty fun.
Wonder if does Eric Schwartz know that? I don't know if he's still listening because Eric's a big powerlifting guy.
Oh shit. I don't know if he knows that or not. It's on my YouTube. It's a pretty cool video I filmed like probably 4 years ago at this point, maybe even longer. I don't even want to know. But yeah, no, I was nine, I might have been 20 or 19. And my brother also competed, my younger brother, and my dad competed in it as well. We all just decided to do it and it was fun.
So obviously Eric's still listening. He said I did not know that.
Didn't know that. Yeah. It wasn't anything super serious. I don't get too, but we did have our singlets and stuff, so it was like serious in that extent. But
Well, if you're in a singlet, brother, you're playing with the big boys. If you're in a
that's what I'm
singlet,
saying. Yeah, I did all right for my first time. That was the first time I've ever bench, squat, and deadlifted in the same day. So when
you
I
remember
talk
your
about no
numbers?
prep, there was no prep.
Do you
It
remember your
was like
numbers?
what?
Do you remember your numbers?
Yes, I think I did. I was 167 when I weighed in. I tried to cut down the weight for my what is it? The Wilks, the
Okay.
Wilks scale, whatever. I think that's like determines like where your percentage is, where you lie percentage wise, um, with your body weight to your max number, like
Yeah.
your
Okay.
total number. So I think it's called the Wilks. I don't know,
Okay.
but I had 315 bench. I
Wow.
wanted 330, but I screwed up because I screwed up somewhere wrong. I wanted like 335, but I did 315. I think I did a 440 squat at the time
Wow.
and a 500 deadlift, and I missed my 520. Yeah, something like that. And I was
So
150.
besides your bench, you're well over like 200%, which is good, man. That's impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, the bench was good. My bench was always pretty good. I wanted a little bit higher, but like my competition technique wasn't polished. Like I
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
like I wasn't really we weren't hardcore power lifters. We just loved the power lifts. You know what I mean? That
Yep.
makes any sense. We loved benching, we loved squatting, we loved deadlifting, but we weren't truthfully like power lifters to the core.
Okay.
Well, if my technique was a little better, I think I could have had that up a little bit, but it was just for fun.
But for fun, just think if you put your effort into it, because you had great lifts for fun.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, we went in. We went as hard as we could go. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, we did the best we could considering
Yeah.
everything. Like, we had the chalk, we had the wrist wraps, I had the belts. We had everything. I don't even know if I did. I was trying to think if I had like the ammonia capsules before the deadlift or not, but I don't remember. Like it might have been that serious. I was definitely using them when I was training because I was like, oh, let's get fucking amped. But I don't remember if I took it to the competition or not. That I don't remember. But people were using it. But yeah, we were serious. Like I was really trying to win. So I really wanted to perform the best I could. So it was
That's
cool.
awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
little fun
Luke,
fact. Not a lot of people know that. Not a lot of people know that.
Luke, it's truly been a pleasure. Is there anything that maybe we haven't discussed that you want to let the listeners know that maybe know of you or don't know about you?
I don't know. I think we got into like a pretty good amount of stuff. Like you got into my day job, where I grew up, how I got into lifting, where I used to work out, how I got into lifting. So that also brings back to like the garage gym. Then I started working out at South Carolina. That's where I tore my pec. I think you in a short amount of time. I think we covered like a good amount of stuff. I'm not gonna lie. I think we did
That's
pretty
awesome.
good.
Luke,
Just
once again, where can everybody follow you? I know it's your name, but where can everybody follow you? What social media platforms are you on?
we're on TikTok, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram. I have a Facebook, but I don't really. I'm not active on that at all. I think my
That's
profile
for the old
picture.
folks. That's old people's. That's old
Yeah,
people's network.
I think I Instagram links the Facebook stuff together. So sometimes I'm like, oh, why not? Just throw it on Facebook as well. It doesn't hurt. But yeah, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all Luke Ellsman. Instagram is Luke_Ellsman. And yeah, just keep an eye, just check out my socials and keep an eye out. And October 1st, Youngblood release. You're gonna want to get some of this stuff. So that's pretty much all I gotta plug. And then yeah, exciting stuff. Just be ready.
One person here, if you want to talk about your Gymshark sponsorship.
Yeah,
You want to give them a shout out, maybe?
Cool. That's also something that came about earlier this month. We're gonna be. I got my own personalized Gymshark link, and they hooked me up with some merchandise, some clothes. So I've been promoting Gymshark as well as pushing all nutrition and my new collab supplement. So that's also something that's cool as well. It's all my little link tree in my descriptions and my bios, stuff like that. So check out all this stuff when you go to my social medias, my social medias. It's like kind of like a weird tongue twister type of thing, but I don't know.
And we got to give a plug too, because you talked about Ronnie Coleman. You're going to be sitting almost next to Ronnie Coleman in a month at the Apollon seminar.
On the same, yeah. I know that's pretty surreal. I don't know what that's gonna feel like. That's crazy because I grew up watching his videos, like when he was in prep, like contest prep, and he'd be on his treadmill in his living room watching TV with the meals and the grits. Like I remember that shit. Like I used to always watch his videos. I mean, I don't know if I was watching them when they were coming out. I don't know.
Yeah.
When they were released, but I definitely went back and watched them. Like always loved Ronnie. So this is going to be such a surreal, cool, amazing moment to be able to sit in the same panel as him and just be in the same presence and hear him speak, hear him talk, hopefully get a yeah, buddy, hopefully get a lightweight, and then my life's me, that's awesome. That's sick to see that, like be able to witness that in person.
You need to look at the list because I know it's a star-studded list. I was there last year, which was awesome. I can't go this year, but see if you can get him on a TikTok video. If you can have him training in the gym, and be like, "Look, bro," say something like, whatever. I don't know, figure something out and get him in the video.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That's a goal. You went back to ask to that question where you asked about my goals. My goal is during the seminar to be able to get a TikTok of Ronnie Coleman. That'd be cool. That or
even Branch still as big as he is. Push him out of the way, dude. You're hogging up the weights. Get out of the way.
Yo, bro, take it easy. Take a back seat. I'm gonna hop in and show you guys how it's done. Like something like that would be funny. So. Like anything, because you don't want to waste their time. They're not gonna Yeah. But if I can possibly pull that off and get them into like a short, simple, stupid TikTok skit, like that'd be freaking amazing.
You got a month. Let the juices start flowing, brother.
Yeah, I know. I'll be thinking about it. I got some time though.
So, but Luke, it's truly been a pleasure. Stay on for a minute. Just stay on for a minute. But for all of you that are listening to this on audio, if you can, please give us a like, subscribe, follow, give us a review where you can. And again, thank you so much, Luke. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure, brother. Thank you for having me on. Make sure to leave a like, guys.
Take care, everybody. Thank you so much.
Make sure to subscribe.